All right, so the Adventures of Kid Lucky. The Shetland Islands, Day 2. So let's see, recap. Where were we? Yes, so our pigeons have only been out of the United States for about a day, and they found themselves unexpectedly in the Shetland Islands and had a bit of a rude awakening when it comes to the war. You know, they have a little bit of a naivety to them, thinking, you know, they're going to be America's heroes and they're going to save the day. And they meet up with some very stressed out, terrorized birds, birds from all over Europe who come to Shetland to nest, who've been living in the war for 3 years now. So we have to remember that America just got into the war and we've been kind of out of it. And they've just gotten a little bit closer to it. And when they get down to England, they'll be even closer to it. And then when they're in France, they're going to be right in the middle of it. So this was kind of their first brush up against a kind of a foreshadowing of, you know, what's going to happen. We meet Alfie, the very young handler from a small town and somewhere in the middle of America who's trying to figure it all out too. He's away from home. You know, he's in a strange place, and he's just trying to find his way. So today we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to get out and explore the island, and I hope you enjoy it. I do have a disclaimer. All right, so we're on the Shetland Islands, and in 1942, they were still kind of, you know, cut off from other people. So they didn't have electricity yet, you know. So the language that they spoke was a Norse Scottish blend. All right, and I have no idea what a Norse Scottish blend sounds like. I threw in some Scandinavian words like "velkomir," but I don't know how to say it in a way that like someone from Norway would say it. So I apologize to Norwegians, Scotlands, and Shetlanders for a really, really terrible accent. So I'm just gonna, you know, make up my own accent, and we're just gonna pretend that the accent that I'm using is exactly what it sounds like. It's probably gonna sound Irish, but we'll pretend that it doesn't. We're also going to meet a Shetland pony today, and I was, you know, Shetland ponies, they don't have to sound anyway, really, Scottish or whatever, but so I was trying to think, what would a Shetland pony sound like? And so I gave him a giant's voice because he's so little. I thought it'd be fun. So he's just going to talk the way he talks, and it's not me trying to do a Scottish accent. It's just going to sound the way it sounds. So that is my disclaimer. All right, so let's get started. All right, The Adventures of Kid Lucky, The Shetland Islands, Day 2. At daybreak the next morning, we flew out of that barn faster than you can say zickety boom and headed straight out to sea just as the mist was rising over the water. It was a damp morning, but that didn't stop us. We headed out to Mucklefluga Lighthouse and explored all the inland coves that it protects. Mucklefluga. Say that 3 times fast. Mucklefluga, Mucklefluga, Mucklefluga. We got a kick out of that. Then we head back towards the center of the mainland, over windswept countryside that spiked into sharp hills, following muddy roads, down along dotted with sheep. All right, the pigeons are moving faster than my mouth can go. Let's do that sentence again. Sorry, folks. We headed back towards the center of the mainland, over the windswept countryside that spiked into sharp hills, following muddy roads dotted with granite houses, embraced by moss-covered scattled, bordered by speckled rock walls. The land spread itself out until it fell into the sea. It was a rugged land, the brightest meridian you'd ever... Ease up, what's going on? Look out! Big white fluffy balls of wool bounding across the scattle, coming straight at us where we was perched on a wooden fence. The fur balls leapt with excitement. Ma! 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 Hey here, flocker! What art thou, kitty wig? Squaw? Ock? That's 3 guesses. We give up. Laugh 'em off. Bah, bah. They bounded off. Holy cashmere, leaping pillowcases. What's with the beat feet? We ain't never seen sheep up close before. What are they? Gurn. Huh? Who said that? Sheepy May. We looked up. We looked all around, but we didn't see no one. Down here. We looked down. Holy moly! Well, cut off my legs and call me Shorty. There stood a speckled horse about 7 wingtips high, with long hair that fell over its eyes, short legs, and a big rump. Hell yeah! Good on, Dagen, which like? How's it going? My name is Edgar, et Rega. Welcome to Shetland. What brings you here, my friends? Where do you hail from? What manner of winged god are thee? Netherlander? Rock fairy? We looked at each other, shuffled our feet a bit. Winged gods. What manner of transport brought you hither that you dropped from the sky with thunderous noise, blazing with 1,000 suns that shook the rafters of my pen? Cloaked in clouds, a ghostly apparition are you, spit out by a great fiery dragon, roaring and thundering, waking the village at 2 a.m. Oh, the aeroplane. Gee, word travels fast over a countryside that's slower pace. We explain how we're in the army on our way to England to join the London League to work as spies for the Allies to defeat Hitler. As long as you're not sock and knock. Welcome here, Jester. Aye. He stomped his front leg. What manner of species are you? Thou does not look to be a seafaring creature. We hail from New York. The Big Apple? America? We're pigeons. Columba? Rock dogs? You ain't never heard of a pigeon? We're your neighborhood-friendly, everyday, ordinary, run-of-the-mill, household, grain-eating, wing-flapping bird. Ain't nothing special about us. Just your average Joe. Aye, and I'm just an ordinary horse. Yet here ye are, halfway across the world, in a distant land near the top of the world, hidden beneath Lager, Sky, and Falken Ragenai, in the North Sea, deposited out of the mouth of a dragon, Berda Undorf. Touché, little pony. What's your story? I'm a Shetland pony, Equus, Calibus, Cruachin. I am colossal in my quest for freedom, a giant of gentleness, protector of wee barn, Herculean. I pull twice my weight. I carry 130 pounds. Good gear come in small bulk. Eddie runs around in a circle, kicking up his hind legs, flipping that glorious mane of his. Right with you there, pal. Come, lads, let's go and hop on. We'll walk the countryside. Hot dog, hitching a ride on the Pony Express. Eddie trotted down muddy lanes, across bumpy fields, skirted the jagged edges of oaths, forging a pathway to the front door of a local craft house where he kicked at the front door with his left hoof. The family opened the door to a pony with a flock of pigeons on its back and gave us some bannock, crossing themselves when they handed it over. We continued along muddy lanes, over bumpy fields, stopping to converse with the Gurn, who gave us this observation. There is the back of a brotherless man. Then to the front door of another croft house, where we was invited to sit fireside in the kitchen. Good on, not on, welcome here, welcome here, we flocker, America. They offered us some cabbage and tatties and neeps, which we politely declined on account of our digestion, but the oats we gladly accepted. We ate and we drank, then the fiddles came out, and everyone kicked up their heels, especially Eddie. Talk about a hoofer! When the fiddles were put away, they gave us some bannock for the road and wished us good luck on our journey. Long may ye long reek! We walked toward the sea, riding on the back of a Shetland pony while pecking at bannock. A light rain falls. I work in the croft, says Eddie. I pull carts, I move rocks, hay, feed, and food, provide transportation to and from the village, and play with the wee barn. But I am no workhorse, mar friales. I am free to roam the countryside, free to carry, free to pull. Gladly I give, Herculean am I. I have the strength of 10 horses. Much loved and respected am I. Feel the strength in my legs. I am magnificent. Another toss of that glorious mane. We envied his self-confidence. Most of my family and friends are workhorses. Sacanock, the English, took what we freely gave, a struna, turned us into pit ponies, carrying coal out of the mines. We are small enough to fit down a mine shaft, strong enough to carry a mountain on our back, forced into darkness where no air moves, forced to carry their loads, to feed industries that choke the skies, forced to carry their children in dog and pony shows, in pony races. We all salty airborne, goose-born ocean breathers, not pit ponies. He kicked out his hind legs, causing us and the bannock to tumble off. Then he shook out his mane, recovering himself. What's for ya? Yeah, no go by ya. My apologies, Fuglus. I did not mean to land ya in a ditch. Come, let's away for a donner. We're almost at the breakers. We walked along deserted, wind-swept hills as a low fog crept in. As we approached the cliffs, Eddie's walk becomes a jog. When we're 10 feet out, his jog becomes a canter. He's making a beeline for the edge, full steam ahead. His canter becomes a gallop, and he jumps over the cliff with us on his back. We jump into the air just in time. Eddie disappears into the mist. We hover in place. Jeepers, where'd he go? He just disappeared. He cast the last anchor. I guess he didn't want to be no pit pony. Nah, he disappeared, I'm telling ya. That ain't possible. I'm telling ya. Poof! Let's go look. You go look. I ain't looking at old Eddie's brains bashed out on the rocks. I ain't going. You go. Not at any price. Enough with the floy. I'll do it. Polly, you coming? Natch. We fly down to the beach to investigate, but the beach is empty. The only thing smashed on the rocks was the breakers. That ain't possible. I saw him go over. I saw him, I tell ya. We all saw him. I got a funny feeling. You always got a feeling. And I'm always right. Let's make like an egg and scram! We hightailed it out of there, up over the cliffs, over our friends' heads, who, seeing our harried flight, hurried after us. We flew like we was cutting out paper dolls. We flew straight back to the homestead, coming in so fast we startled the missus, who was picking beetroot out of her garden, causing her to drop a basket. She runs over to us when we alighted on a stone wall to see what was the matter. We told her we hitched a ride on the Pony Express and the driver cashed in his chips. Was that you saying? Was it small about yea high, strake a mar? Quick, make the sounds. You done met a schulpelty. Wherever there's a fiddle playing, there they are. A pretty little mar that says, ride on me, then gallops into the sea with ya. You're lucky you came out with your lives. Saints preserve us. Not a chance. You don't believe in the water spirit, fairy nor trow. The mermaids come to shore and take off their sealskins and walk about with the humans. I've seen it with me own eyes. The good folk live in the green hills. Be wary where you rest. They'll eat you for supper. She crossed herself one more time, then went back to her vegetables. We was spooked. That evening, there was no settling down. The wind howled, shaking the rafters, blowing fiercely, while we pigeons paced in our cages. Do you think it was what she said, a shoopy? That shoopil tea, bird brain. Nah, I don't go in for that supernatural stuff. Then how else do you explain it? 1 minute he was there, the next he was gone. It was just like she said. He danced to the fiddle, offered us a ride on his back, then tried to drown us in the sea, take our souls to the bottom of the ocean. Where's that grain? I gotta eat something. Where's Georgie? We need some Georgie. What did he say? He'd say, hey, good looking, you are one good looking bird. He'd say, don't let anyone call you a carrier. You ain't no carrier, you're home. home, home, homing, home. It ain't working, I don't feel better. Hey there, little fellas, what's going on? What's with all the ruckus? Keep it down or you'll wake the household. We've seen a ghost, yeah, Alfie, an apparition. That's apparition, cabbage head. It almost run off with our lives. Do you believe in the supernatural, Alfie? Well now, I don't know. There was this one time back home, I was cleaning out the shed, and there was this rake by the door. And when I went to put it away, it wasn't there no more. Woo! I looked all over, but it was gone. I couldn't make no sense of it, but it never happened again, so I didn't give it no never mind. But I guess stuff like that happens here all the time. One of the locals was telling me about this church that got destroyed somehow. I don't remember how or where it was. It was somewhere on the mainland, but the next morning, the whole thing was rebuilt. Every stone in place. It was a miracle. They say the island fairies rebuilt it. Now, I ain't one to question a local custom. I mean, how else did it get done? Who else could have done it? Maybe it is like they say, but what do I know? This here is an ancient land. There are things I don't understand. But hey, I know what will settle you down. Let me get this here stool. There we go. Now, back on the farm, on a night like this, I'd sit out on the porch and watch the storm. Sometimes I'd bring my harmonica, and sometimes my spoons, and I'd play along with the wind, you know. I like folk music. Ever hear of Leadbelly? You ain't never heard of Leadbelly? Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene, good night, Irene. I guess you're in my dreams. That's a real famous song. Everybody knows it. I like him and Woody Guthrie. You've heard of Woody Guthrie, ain't you? You know. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, to the Redwood Forest, to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Now I went walking that ribbon of highway. I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. No? What do you listen to in New York City? Probably that big band music. I like big band. And Sinatra. I heard it on the radio. But mostly where I come from, we listen to country music. Anyway, I'd like to sing you a little song by Woody Guthrie called The Hobo Lullaby. It'll settle you right down. Go to sleep, you weary hobo. Let the towns drift slowly by. Listen to the steel rails humming. That's the hobo's lullaby. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Do not think about tomorrow. Let tomorrow come and go. Tonight you got a nice warm boxcar, safe from all the wind and snow. So go to sleep, you weary hobo. Let the towns drift slowly by. Listen to the steel rails humming. That's a hobo lullaby. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. Well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I took some poetic license. The Hobo Lullaby was not written until 1944, but it is a Woody Guthrie song. So thank you for coming. And hello, Leslie. I'll see you soon tomorrow night, day 3. Thank you.